Hi, it's Mark Langley with the National Public Safety Drone Donation Program here at ComUAV 2023 in Las Vegas, the last day. And many people don't know this about myself, but I have a company called Airborne Works. And when I started in the drone space years ago, this is one of the companies. Janice and Jean here are father and daughter team,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And they've started a company that is called Fruity Chutes, and they make parachutes that protect aircraft from doing damage to others. Could you tell us a little bit about your company, when you started, why you started the company?
Yeah, absolutely. So we opened for business in 2007, and it was really my father's brilliant idea. I could speak on it if you'd like. Yes, so he does rocketry as a hobby, and he wasn't happy with the parachutes that he was buying. They were just very low quality. My mom sews, and he thought, well, you can make a parachute. People were blown away by the quality and were buying parachutes before they even existed.
So this is before the drone space? Rocketry's been around a while.
It was.
Yes.
That's right.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I mean, those are unmanned systems too.
They are.
Yeah,
How long have you been doing rocketry, Gene?
Well, I mean, I started when I was a kid. Like a
Okay,
lot of people.
so a couple of years.
And then I was reborn several times, and in college, and then in my 20s, 25s, on and off, and then about 16 years ago, I just kind of got the high power rocketry bug.
Okay. What's the highest altitude that you've hit with your rockets?
I have,
Apogee.
in fact, there's a rocket back here.
Oh, wow.
That has flown 41,073 feet AGL.
Okay.
MSL's over 45,000 feet.
That's amazing.
So,
I've seen a lot of videos. So you both saw the drone space and realized that there's a market there for this.
yeah, really just a few years into business, we started getting inquiries from different military customers, university customers, and they were saying, hey, we want to use drones, but we want a safety system. Can you guys do something for us? And so that's when we really started to explore parachutes for drones. And then in 2009, that really became a significant part of our product line.
So I noticed, so you can educate me, because I'm really ignorant in this. So were there standards for chutes for drones at that time, or were you guys a part of helping craft those regulations or whatever? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, at that time there wasn't there
Right.
weren't any specific standards or regulatory items in place at that time.
Okay.
So we did things based on, like, we know our strength of materials and the performance, and we'd work with customers to try to figure out, like, what's a good solution. And in many respects, the parachute systems aren't a lot different from that, because it was always built for, like, strength,
Sure,
rocketry, and reliability.
Okay.
But when the drone space started to emerge, initially it was universities. We're even in research papers that universities did on this stuff, and cited in quite a few of those.
Excellent.
And so we started seeing that the rocketry parachutes are, they're heavier.
Sure.
Because it's in rocketry, sometimes big fat rockets, you don't have to go that high, and it's really cool. But drones, weight's everything.
Yeah, it's a different, I mean, gravity's working against us there.
It's
So
very different.
as far as deployment, I'm familiar with how rockets are deployed in chutes are deployed in rockets, but in drones it's a different scenario. What is the trigger that you're using, the mechanism? Is it a tilt mechanism? Is it a remote mechanism? How are you guys doing this?
Well, so we have a product called the SATS Mini, which is right here on this table. It's this little box.
Right here?
Yeah, and that's actually a fairly new product. And what this product does is that it can detect, it's configurable.
Okay.
And it's designed as the automatic trigger system for drones.
Yeah.
And it can be configured so that, like, drones should go upside down.
Of course, that's what's going to happen if they fail.
Free fall, and it detects those. And then that initiates the deployment of the parachute.
Excellent. So it looks like you've got a CO2 cartridge on this.
Yeah.
So is that what's shooting
Yes.
all the pressure out?
For some of our larger systems, so when they're smaller, we use spring.
Okay.
And then if it's like fixed wing, we can just use passive deployment with like a pilot chute.
Yeah, because you're adding some weight here to the aircraft, and
That's right.
But you're doing the trade-off between flight time and safety, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Very, very cool. So These are either air ejected or pressure ejected or spring ejected. Is there any other methodology? I mean, is there a remote down by the pilot and he can trigger it?
Oh yeah, that's an option as well.
Yeah, these can be outfitted with a receiver, and then we have another product called the SkyCat Rescue Radio transmitter that they can push the button. And the thing about that is that the deployment happens completely independent of the drone. I mean, maybe the drone like gets brain dead.
Okay.
Software crashed, it rebooted. I don't know what I'm doing here.
That happens,
right?
Sure. If you haven't crashed, you're not really a pilot.
No, and if you don't want to crash, you shouldn't fly.
Yeah, right.
But, that's one of the things.
Yeah.
But like flyaways, especially stuff like that, you could stop it.
Oh, okay. That's another use case. I didn't think about that. Yeah, because if it deploys the parachute, it's not going too far.
It's not going anywhere.
Very, very good.
Yeah.
Very good. So I've always wanted to know, and maybe our listeners want to know, how did you come up with the name Fruity Chutes?
Well, in rocketry, all the businesses have really fun, kind of quirky names.
Okay.
And so we wanted to figure out, well, what's our like piece of that like puzzle? And so we came up with somehow parachutes and fruit flavored colors. You know, parachutes are very
I noticed you got some very colorful chutes over there. Yeah.
Yeah. So the gimmick was like all the colors were fruit names, like cherry red, lemon yellow, lime green. And we just have kept the name over time because no one forgets it.
You were telling me the other day when I asked for the interview that you're doing some other consulting. Would you talk to us about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So we recently launched something called the ASTM Compliant Para Prep Program.
Okay.
So this is to help companies get through the ASTM standard. So the ASTM standard.
There is a standard now for parachutes.
Yes, there is a standard now.
Which is ASTM.
Well, it's through the ASTM organization.
I see.
And it's the standard is F3322.
Okay.
Which defines
based on a standard.
That's right. And there's a whole series of flight testing. 45 types of tests have to be performed, and you can't fail any of them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Then it's blessed by the standard independent report, independent testing agency, generally done at the FAA test sites.
Okay.
Or other similar type situations like in Europe and
Right.
And a report comes out of that, and then that's provided to the aviation authorities as proof that you have a reliable and robust system. So that's what this is.
Yeah. So it's, you know, certifying the drone with the parachute system together. And so companies get through that process because it's very expensive. It can be very risky. It can really disrupt your business.
So you consult on how to manage this, navigate this, this bureaucracy, if I could use that word.
So we help with the design phase to make sure they have all the proper bells and whistles designed in. We help to manufacture the parachute system. We do any customizations that are needed.
Excellent.
We do some prototype testing. We do all the documentation so that when they get to the third-party testing authority, they can be successful.
So your product basically can be applied to any drone technology.
That's right.
And could you give me the highest weight range that you are currently protecting? I mean, this looks like a pretty big shoot. I mean,
I have the smallest.
This is a great comparison. So we've got
and the largest.
This is an awesome comparison here.
So this has a little 30-inch parachute inside this canister.
30-inch. Okay.
So the weight range of this is nominally 1.25 kg. And at the other end of the spectrum, this is a new product. It has a 20-foot canopy.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's almost like
it's
carry a human almost.
Yes, it's actually too large for most people. Like as a reserve, it's very similar to a reserve parachute.
Very.
And the rating on this is 200 kg.
200 kilograms.
That's right.
That is amazing. Thank you.
So we have more than 2 orders of magnitude in that.
Wow.
It's instead of being 100, it's 200 times, almost 200 times.
Well, you want that safety factor built in,
That's right. And the drones are bigger. I mean, some of them are huge.
And then that also affects the impact speed at which it hits the ground, things of that nature, right?
And we have lots of sizes in between these as well. And so, you know, depending.
Like 19 sizes.
Yeah, like 19 sizes. So, you know, depending on the weight of the drone, that's how we size the parachute so that it comes down at 15 feet per second. So, you know, it's not going to do any damage. It's not going to hurt anybody, not going to damage property.
So this is a great example of how innovation is helping to change the UAV industry. If you're a drone manufacturer and you're trying to navigate this process to put a chute on your aircraft, this is a great company to deal with and work with to try to make that happen. Actually, they will make it happen for you.
Oh, and then Drone Delivery Canada is using our product, and I just saw a press release today that the Canary drone that they have that uses our parachute system and the ATS has then got a contract now through one of the defense agencies to supply the Canary drone to Canadian, to Canadian defense
Very good.
organizations.
So I got one question for you. So is a chute required for BLOS or over BB loss or over flying over people?
Well,
is it a requirement?
Yeah. So if you want to get some kind of waiver for flight over people now, and it's at a certain weight range, the parachutes are written into the standards as something that you have to have.
Okay.
Because you can't meet the impact energy requirements.
Yeah.
Without it.
No sense ruining somebody's day with a drone.
And then BB loss, I think, even on the larger drones, it might be too heavy for direct flight over people, or they have to type certify.
Okay.
You need a way to like arrest the parachute, stop flyaways. These things are flying robots, so you need a way to mitigate and keep it within like the bounds of where it's supposed to fly.
Well, I really appreciate this information. This is amazing what you guys have done, and it's a family business. You got and you got a sister, right?
Yes.
Your sister.
Yeah.
And is your wife still stitching, or you guys?
Oh no,
okay.
She hasn't stitched for a long time.
Okay.
We make something, like 1,000 parachutes every 3 to 4 to 5 months.
Okay. That's awesome. It's great to see you're successful.
We have good resources and that. And,
excellent. That's really good. So support companies like this, and it's all U.S. based, obviously.
That's right.
So if you are in need of purchasing a drone or any hardware or anything for your department or on a personal level, contact our foundation. We have partners that will guarantee best pricing for drone technology, and they will. What's the nice thing about it is they'll give up to 10% of the net proceeds back to our foundation. And if you're a department out there, a public safety agency that's recycling old drones, or even like a contracting company, we just had a press release went out yesterday. A roofing company donated their retired drone to us. So, it was kind of old, so we didn't put it into public safety. It went to STEM programs, so we support STEM. So if you got an old drone, send it our way. We'd appreciate your support. Click on the like, subscribe button below, and please follow what they're doing. If you need any help, we'll put you in touch with Fruity Chutes. Again, thank you so much for your time and your technology.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Like, comment, and share. Thank you for following our channel.